Bob Hyatt here with the 7th edition of an OMNTEC Minute. Today we're going to compare fill limiters and our new delivery defender. What's the best solution for the customer and provide you with the facts. The EPA requires one of these three devices to prevent delivery overfills. So you have the fill limiter set at 95%, it's a mechanical device, goes in the tank. Overfill alarm, kind of a rudimentary version of our delivery defender, set at 90%, and ball floats, which you can still use if they're in, but you can't use on new sites, and when they go bad, they have to be removed. So let's look at the first two, since ball floats are pretty much out at this point. Okay, we call it fill limiter frustration. There's so much about fill limiters. So what are the requirements with a fill limiter? All right, well, you have the pressure decay test. That's where you test the vapor space on a tank and ensure that it's not leaking out your drop tube. Well, if you have a fill limiter in there with all the valves and rivets and stuff that make up the fill limiter device, you have a lot of leak points that could cause failure of your pressure decay test. It's required every 3 years. Testers estimate about 20% of fill limiters, or 1 in 5, will fail. Now the EPA says every 3 years you're going to test your fill limiter specifically. Well, because most states are going to have you required to remove the fill limiter from the tank, testers are expecting about 1 in 4 to fail just getting it out of the tank, and it would be destroyed. So 25% fail rate. Third, it is a wear item. So it will fail eventually, and it gives no warnings to the customer or to the delivery company that it's failing until it does. There's also the question of premature shutoff, where the flow rate coming into the tank pulls the flapper shut, causing it to shut off before it gets to that 95%, causing drivers to have to leave and take back fuel. It also could potentially fuse to the riser. We know with all the ethanol blends that we're seeing where the fill limiters aren't even be able to be pulled out of the tank, and a lot of your testing companies have special tools that destroy them, getting them out just to test them. Also, the stick does not match the tank gauge because this area is now vapor tight. If it's done correctly, the level, kind of like putting your thumb over a straw, will be higher in the riser or lower, depending on when you're testing it, than your actual tank height, so drivers sticking the tank aren't going to get a true reading. So these are all frustrations revolving around a fill limiter. What does our delivery defender do for you? It promotes after-hours fueling. Now your tank gauge is out there, so you can take and receive your deliveries after hours, when it's not infringing upon your customers, because most people won't come onto your site when there's a tanker truck there. It eliminates the need for a fill limiter, all that frustration. Helps prevent cross-contamination, because like we show here, the tank gauge turns on and switches to the tank getting the fuel, so the driver's going to know if he's cross-contaminating by seeing what product is actually receiving the fuel. Communicates with the driver through the lights that you see on here and on our demo unit. Tells the driver, I'm getting a delivery, I'm not getting a delivery. It's communicating, all functions normal. So it's bringing the driver in. No fill limiter testing, because you don't have them. No 40 CFR failures due to fill limiter leaks. And no stick errors, because now we're giving you a tank gauge out by your fill. So what does this come to in dollars? Well, a delivery defender is going to cost you list price of $33.50 each. Installation can be anywhere from $250 to $1,000. There are no ongoing costs because it's just working like your tank gauge. So estimated over 10 years, it might cost you $3,600 for the site. Fill limiter, that's an ongoing maintenance cost. If you just took a 3-tank example, fill limiter is going to cost you somewhere between $800 and $1,100 each, $2,400 for just the product. $100 each for installation. Life expectancy on an average site for a fill limiter is about 4 years. So you know in 10 years you're going to have to replace them a couple times. Failure due to 40 CFR of 20%. Just the 40 CFR test is $600. Failures due to the new EPA test on the fill limiter. If you have about a 20% failure rate plus the test of $600. Cost on your business when one stuck shut and you can't take a delivery, or one breaks and you have a fountain coming out your vent stack. All these things, we estimated a rose-colored 10-year projection on a 3-tank site of about $8,200 in cost. So you see $3,600 for the delivery defender, fill limiter about $8,200. It's clear that the delivery defender is the winner on the analysis and the appropriate product for a lot of customers. We hope you'll give it a serious look, and thank you for this edition of an OMNTEC Minute.